Hey guys, as you might have heard, Scream 5 is now in the early stages of development. If you didn't already watch my last video about that, I'm gonna link it for you right here. And while we haven't gotten any official news about who's going to be writing, directing, or starring in this newest entry, original Scream actor Jamie Kennedy, aka Randy Meeks, has taken to Twitter to respond to fan theories regarding a return of his character. Before we get into any speculation, I want to hear from you guys in the comment section below how you would feel about a franchise return for Randy Meeks. Also, while you're at it, give this video a thumbs up. I'm going to be keeping up to date very closely with Scream 5 news as it comes rolling in, so if you're considering making this your destination for all things Scream, you might want to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. You can also enjoy some of my movie reviews as I post them throughout the week. So the first bit of information is that Jamie appeared on Collider Live last month, where he was asked if he would ever want to come back to the franchise if he was invited to. He went on to discuss it in great detail, but here's just a little snippet from that interview.
I think that they should leave Scream alone. Is there any scenario of, because look what they did with New Nightmare. Is there any chance that you would be able to do something again with Scream? Would you want to do something with Scream? Is that part over?
I would like to, if the movies keep going.
Yeah.
I think there's a way to do it that they can bring back some of their favorite characters.
You have an idea?
I do, and we've talked about it because these horror conventions are bigger than ever.
Yeah.
And so when I go, I've talked to different people about it, and I think there's a way to do it. And there's, there could have been a fake out scene, or maybe someone's really not dead.
Right.
If you guys actually want to watch the full video of that, I'm going to post a link in the descriptions. Now, since the announcement of Scream 5 the other day, Jamie has also taken to Twitter in two separate tweets. In the first one, in response to a theory that Randy faked his death and is going to be the new killer, he said, "They're making a new Scream. I think this is an interesting angle, and I believe I know why he did it. Who's on board?" Followed up with another tweet saying, "A lot of people were pissed he died. Were you? I mean, Randy is the voice of you." Kennedy is, of course, talking about the abrupt killing off of his beloved franchise character, Randy, in Scream 2, and while in the past Randy's death hasn't stopped Kennedy from returning to the series, as he had a cameo in Scream 3 in a posthumous video recording he made for Sydney, it seems unlikely that they would resurrect him, as we most definitely know he is dead, as seen by Gail discovering his bloody corpse in her news van. And the franchise has strictly avoided going down any supernatural route, so that rules out any sort of otherworldly resurrection. However, let's entertain the idea that Randy could come back. We do know that characters have faked their death in this series before, specifically Roman Bridger in Scream 3, who was discovered inside a prop coffin after wandering off, only to later reveal himself to indeed be the killer. But since fans of the franchise consider Roman to be the weakest ghost face and Scream 3 to be the weakest entry, I don't think they would recycle that same plot device for a second time. Not to mention that no returning characters have ever been revealed to be the killer, as every ghost face has been a unique character to the film that they're in. But it seems like Jamie has some very specific ideas as to what would motivate Randy to don the ghost face mask if he did come back as the killer. This actually sounds a lot like Kevin Williamson's original script idea for Scream 3, which saw the killers turn out to be a group of film students who faked the whole thing as a prank, very much akin to the 80s horror classic April Fool's Day. If you remember, Randy was an avid film lover and film student, so this could potentially be the idea that he's talking about. Of course, Williamson's script was never used as he passed on Scream 3, and we got a much different story, and elements of this idea were then reused for Scream 4. Another option for bringing back Randy is to make this a prequel to the original, but since the characters have aged over 20 years by now, and there's not much of a mystery left to be told of Maureen Prescott's murder, it's unlikely that would happen either. The interviewer in Jamie's Collider video also mentioned Wes Craven's New Nightmare, a premise which saw the demonic spirit of Freddy Krueger literally come out of the film's celluloid and haunt the real-life actors and filmmakers. The only problem is that with Wes Craven's passing in 2015, you wouldn't have his involvement behind or in front of the camera, and that would seriously undermine a high concept idea like that. So that leaves the only plausible way of bringing Randy back, by doing a hard reboot of the series and making Scream 5 a direct continuation of the original Scream, ignoring all the sequels that followed, as Randy was still alive at the end of the first movie. This is of course very similar to what they did in 2018's Halloween, making that film a direct continuation of the original and ignoring all the sequels and the heavy mythology of them, allowing them to start over with a clean slate. This would make sense as the original Scream is arguably the scariest, and all the sequels complicated the formula by adding new rules and saturating the horror with too much comedy. And as the most self-aware character of the franchise, there's no one better to delve into the meta contextualization of a horror reboot than Randy himself. He'd almost be like the Deadpool of the Scream franchise, knowing that there's all this deleted history and that he should likely be dead. And if that's the case, you could also imagine where he might be now and what he might be doing. Maybe he finally became a big-time filmmaker. But at the end of the day, this is of course all just speculation, as we haven't heard anything concrete yet. Jamie Kennedy is just the only person who's connected with the franchise who's been talking about it. But the best way to get hyped for this movie is by starting a dialogue about it. So take to the comment section, let me know your predictions for a Scream 5. You can also get in touch with me on my Instagram account. I'm pretty good at getting back to people, and I love talking about Scream and hearing other people's theories. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and don't forget to have a fantastic rest of your day.